Thanos, like any well-written villain, has his flaws. He's a total narcissist. He's got an inflated ego, a superiority complex minus his, crippling self-doubt. And of course, he's got a wee bit of a temper. So needless to say, he isn't the easiest character in the Marvel Universe to get along with, regardless of whether we're talking the comics or the MCU. So today we're taking a look at a few characters, superheroes in particular, who have grinded the Mad Titans' gears over the years, with our list of the top 10 superheroes that annoy Thanos. Starting us off in at number 10, Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is an underrated hero who, in contemporary times, has become an increasingly beloved fan favorite. She has quite the track record too. She's defeated Dr. Doom. She's defeated Galactus. Not too shabby for a girl who can communicate with adorable tree-loving rodents. And of course, she's defeated Thanos, much to his dismay. How exactly that happened, we'll never really know. It occurred entirely off-panel, with the Watcher confirming what went down while Thanos lays on the ground knocked out. Surely that's something the big purple guy is embarrassed over. In at number 9, Hulk. While most of the numbers on our list pertain to the comics, let's take a gander at the MCU. One of the characters who annoys Thanos quite a bit in the cinematic universe is none other than Bruce Banner's Hulk. Just take a look at the beginning of Infinity War and you'll see why. Thanos tosses the giant green monster around like he's a toy, annoyed that he has to beat him down in order to finish up with the Asgardian refugee ship they're on. Then when Hulk is teleported over to Earth, he tells everyone that Thanos is coming and ruins Thanos' chance for a surprise attack. Yeah, I'd be pissed off at Banner too if I were in his big ol' purple shoes. In at number 8, Thor. Speaking of characters in the MCU who pissed off Thanos, Thor is definitely up there on that list. Dude literally almost killed him. Sorry, spoiler alert, but really, you probably should have seen Infinity War by now. Clicking on a Thanos themed video is not doing you any favors in that department. Anywho, Thanos gets the last laugh in this situation, which really grinds Thor's gears. Lots of gear grinding in this video. Needless to say, we're all hoping for a confrontation between the two in Endgame. And Thanos isn't going to let his near-death experience slide. And at number 7, Thane. Thane is Thanos' son. And guess what, friends? He does not have the same ideologies as Daddy Dearest. So you probably know where this is going. In the comics, Thane is an inhuman character who is revealed in the Infinity story arc. Essentially, Thanos hooked up with an inhuman woman, got her pregnant, and then she ran away after Thanos and his army destroyed her tribe. Thanos would search for his long-lost son years later, using his Black Order to raise planets in search of the child, which eventually led him to Earth. Ebony Maw found the boy, built him a suit to contain his powers, and then tried to manipulate him into becoming the ruler of the universe. And finally, when Thane and Thanos do come into contact, Thane traps his father in a pocket limbo stasis. Yeah, that's gonna make Thanksgiving real awkward for the two of them. And at number 6, Mar-Vell. Mar-Vell perhaps has one of the longest histories with Thanos on this list. Now, the very first iteration of Captain Marvel, Mar-Vell, fought against Thanos in the 70s, teaming up with Thanos' father, Mentor, and Eros in a conflict over the Cosmic Cube. Thanos gets a hold of the cube, and when his spirit leaves his body, Mar-Vell uses that as an opportunity to shatter the cube, ultimately undoing Thanos' actions. Later, when Captain Marvel was killed off via cancer in 1982, in The Death of Captain Marvel, a vision of Thanos would come to him, not as an enemy, but as a guide into the afterlife. So, all in all, despite being one of each other's greatest foes in the comics, the two did make amends. But back in the day, this Kree fighter was one hell of an antagonist to the Mad Titan. In at 5, Ka-Zar. And perhaps one of the strangest enemies Thanos has ever faced, Ka-Zar in Volume 2 of his self-titled series, in issues 7 to 11 from 1998, faces off against the Mad Titan and manages to defeat him. Now, alright, for context, let's talk. Ka-Zar, if you didn't know, is a character who first debuted in the X-Men issue 10 back in 1965. But before then, he appeared in pulp magazines and in Timely Comics, Marvel's predecessor, making his debut in 1939. There's been 2 iterations. The second iteration is the one who fought Thanos. He's essentially Tarzan meets a caveman. Yeah. So the two fought over top a cavern filled with lava, with Ka-Zar dramatically kicking Thanos into said lava after thinking about how much he loved his son, which apparently gave him the energy to break free of Thanos' grip. All in all, it was a bit of a strange story, and Thanos would constantly refer to Ka-Zar as a savage. In at number 4, Lockjaw. Thanos' encounter with Lockjaw definitely tops the list of the Mad Titan's most humiliating battles. Once upon a time, Lockjaw was the leader of the Pet Avengers. Yes, this is a thing that exists. The team would come across the Infinity Stones, and naturally, Thanos, wanting to take them for himself, would attempt to steal them away from this adorable group of crime fighters. Lockjaw uses the power of the stones to kick Thanos' butt and then sends the Mad Titan to another dimension, which all of his little furry friends love. Not like actual furries, like one of them's a cat. Another one's like a frog. It's a whole thing. They're all animals, yay. And at number 3, Drax. While some of you may be familiar with Drax's vendetta against Thanos in the MCU, those of you who are familiar with the comics know that the character has had quite the history with the Mad Titan, right down to his very creation. Created by Jim Starlin, who also created Thanos, Drax the Destroyer first appeared in the Invincible Iron Man issue 55 back in 1973, the same issue as the Mad Titan's introduction. Drax was a human man named Arthur Douglas, whose family was killed by Thanos when he was cruising around Earth. Thanos thought that Arthur and his family had spotted him, so just to be sure, he kills them while they're driving through a desert. Mentor, Thanos' father, and Titan god Kronos decide that a champion is needed to bring Thanos' threat to an end. So they take Arthur's spirit and put it inside a new, incredibly powerful body, Drax. Drax's whole purpose in life from that moment onwards is to kill Thanos. Now during that first appearance he fights alongside Iron Man and the Blood Brothers, but Thanos manages to escape. Then begins a long crusade of him trying to take out Thanos while other heroes, the likes of Captain Marvel, the original Marvel, the Avengers, and Adam Warlock go after the Mad Titan, all of whom are seemingly more equipped to do so. Needless to say, Drax has been a major nuisance to Thanos on screen and in the panels. Moving on to number 2, Adam Warlock. Out of all of the heroes in the comics, Adam Warlock is the one who's likely off Thanos the most. He's thwarted Thanos' plans with the Infinity Gems multiple times. The two are practically arch nemeses, with Warlock having faced a handful of defeats by the Mad Titan himself. In the Infinity Gauntlet comic, which Infinity War is loosely based off of, Warlock is the one who ends up defeating Thanos with his master plan. And on top of all that, Warlock is also the one who confronts Thanos and calls him out for being the self-doubting, insecure little bitch that he is. Warlock is all like, I've been inside the Soul Stone, I know you better than you know yourself, and I know you believe you're not worthy. And Thanos is all like, oh yeah man, you're right. And he's so humiliated by it that he actually helps Warlock stop Nebula in the comics by getting the Infinity Gauntlet back from her. How she got it is a whole thing, you should totally read it, it's really great. While Warlock has yet to pop up in the MCU, if Thanos isn't flat out killed in Avengers Endgame, it would be super fascinating to watch these two interact with one another on the big screen in the future. Finally, in at number 1, Deadpool. Arguably, given their history together and the fact that Warlock has thwarted the Mad Titan multiple times, you might think that he would, get the number 1 spot on this list. But instead, that goes to the man who has taken the one thing from Thanos that he's truly ever loved, death. Yes, that's right, the entity Death. The entity who, in the comics, motivates and manipulates Thanos to do all of the terrible things that he does. Death wants the universe balanced, and Thanos does that with the Infinity Gems. Death has also been quite absent from the MCU, with strong speculation that she won't be making an appearance in Endgame despite Thanos' deep-rooted history with her in the comics. Anywho, back on track here. Once upon a time, Deadpool competed against Thanos for Death's affections, and won. Death had the hots for Deadpool. Thanos didn't like that. So he cursed Deadpool with immortality so he could never truly have Death as his own. Talk about major jealousy issues. Death still ignores Thanos even with Wade Wilson out of the picture. And if you've read Infinity Gauntlet, you know how extra Thanos gets over Death. He literally used the gems to create a brand new side chick who looks just like him, by the way, to try to piss Death off, which also didn't work. So imagine his disdain when she's all over Deadpool and not him. The two had a hilarious limited series together called Deadpool vs. Thanos where all of that went down. Alright, there we have it friends. What other superheroes can you think of that annoy the hell out of Thanos? Give us a shout in those comments below and share your thoughts. If you like this video, please spread the love and hit that like button, subscribe to Top 10 Nerd, share this video with a friend, and be sure to check out our channel and hang out with us some more. We'd love it if you stuck around. In the meantime though, thanks for watching friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.